With all the changes happening in the world, it's sometimes difficult. It makes us long for something we know, something familiar, something that we're used to. So I decided that we needed a dose of that for the channel. I think we nailed it. Roll the intro. Hey guys, it's Josh with the Hisson Group, and I am back this week with, I think there's more to like for me than just the color with this one, but I think you can see why I picked this one. Nonetheless, I'm in Richfield. This truck is out of Columbus though, so why not film it? Save me the drive. Nonetheless, there is plenty of great stuff to look at on this, so we're gonna do the usual program of some B-roll. I'm gonna look up and make sure that I've got all the specs for you that I missed on that last T800 that I did. Then we're gonna go through it front to back. As I said before, there is a lot of nice stuff to look at on this truck, but nothing really over the top. And this, as we dive into the specs of it, you're gonna see is that why I picked it as the getting back to normal truck. Once again, there's more to like than just the color of this. This, as you all know, is a Kenworth T800. Now, up in the very front, we've got the tow pin there because it is a dump truck. We realize it will go off-road and eventually you're gonna get in over your head. As I've talked about ad nauseum here, we have the metal mesh grille. I'm not gonna say bulletproof, but close to it. Rocks, geese. I know I've referenced Volkswagens in the last, it's not gonna stop a Volkswagen, but a lot of other stuff, it will stop, and it is designed to protect everything behind it. We've all seen other grills going down the road with this funky look like they're missing some teeth. You don't see that with these. I like the surround on this. This one also has the extra bars, which are for support, but we realize it's just to support how the truck looks. Up here we've got the bumper. This one is cut at the angle. That way you're in an off-camber situation, you're much less likely to catch it on something and get that bent bumper look that makes it look like you're jousting. This also has the fog lights inside of it. Once again, added light down the road anytime you can get that. Always really helpful. T800 still uses the sealed beam headlamps on this. They've been around for years, they've worked for years, and they still do a really nice job of, once again, getting that light down the road. So as we come just a little bit further back, we've got the flexible fender flares here because we've got the 425 wide base tires up front. I'll get into the front suspension here in a bit. As always, we've got the Kenworth logo up here. It's just in that perfect spot to break everything up enough, but still not be obtrusive, or it's just, I think it looks good there. We've got the chrome trim around the turn signals here. This has just that right combination of bright red and shiny that I really like. So when you pop open that beautifully painted red hood, you find Cummins X15 underneath it. This one's 505 horsepower, 1,650 foot-pounds of torque. Now, that is a little bit of that getting back to normal, or I guess what I would say what so many of you are used to. But even more so, behind it, we've got an Eaton 8LL transmission. 3 pedals, It's got the stick coming through the floor for you. You get to do this one on your own. It was almost even tough for me to say 8LL without saying Ultra Shift after it. That's how much things have changed. Kind of interesting. Nonetheless, as we go towards front steering suspension, things of that nature, with this being a 20,850 pound rating for the whole front end, of course, we've got the dual steering gearboxes. We've got the Bridgestone 425s, as I mentioned before. We've got Alcoa Durabrite wheels. Inside of those, we've got drum brakes. So after my last video, it got me curious in thinking about which style of mirrors you guys like better. Do you like it where it's got the tube mounts down here? You guys like the mount like this? Let me know. I'm always curious to see, and for us to get your feedback on it, always helps us to know what you guys want to see in a truck. Now, while I'm out here, this does have the moto mirrors on it. We've got the visor here, a couple of air horns, 5 clearance lights. Once again, that getting back to normal, getting back to the stuff that you guys expect to see. As I mentioned before, sometimes it's the little touches that add a lot to it. And this polished stainless panel here is one of those pieces. It's really inexpensive in the spec sheet, and obviously it really dresses up the whole look of the truck. Speaking of dressed up, we also have the wide tank straps on this tank. 100 gallons in here, 11 gallons of def in there. Once again, this does have the stainless wrap around it, so that way it's dressed up a little bit too. You've got your steps here, light when you open the door. There's no way you're going to be able to see that in the daytime, but at night it's a huge help. This one also, it does have the dual stacks on it because it looks good. On this one, the switches are inside for the pusher axles. In terms of your pressures and your gauges, they're all right here, right behind the cab. This actually, I like this type of setup because you're less likely to bump it getting in and out of the cab. And it's up and it's out of the way, out of the weather, out of things like that. It's a good spot for it. So as we go midship on the truck, and I figure it's a 6-axle that's calling it midship, yeah, I'm going with it. We've got Bridgestone tires on those. We've got the Alcoa Level 1 wheels on those. These are 13.2 pusher axles on this. Above that, we've got 22.5 feet of Heritage steel bed. Heritage's beds, they've done very well for us, as I've mentioned in the past. On top of that, we've actually got one of the roll-up tarps. Once again, it's the winch style system with the cable on it. We've had really good luck with those too. This is a truck, you call about it today, you could be on the road tomorrow. So right about here is 281 inches from the center of the front axle. On this truck, we've got Bridgestone 24.5-inch tires, Alcoa Durabrite wheels, drum brakes inside that. We've got DT46 170H Dana axles with 430 rear end gears in them. I think I covered most of the numbers that I forgot in the last one. If I didn't, let me know. Inside of all that, holding the whole works up, we've got a Chalmers suspension for it. So when we get to the back end of this truck, everything that you're used to seeing, once again, it's that return to normalcy. Air release for the gate, single coal chute. It's the back end of a dump truck. Normal. Now you guys know, yeah, I'm down here, that the interior is one of the last things that I talk about typically, and I've got some other stuff that I'm going to talk about with it today too. So getting in and out of this truck, this has the handrail here. This door pocket here is meant as a handle. I've actually hung from these before. I'm not going to do it today because I've got a little bit of a sore shoulder, but I have done that before. So getting in and out is easy and safe, and I just shook the heck out of the camera, so hopefully you guys aren't going to get seasick. This, as I'm sure you saw before I stuck my butt on it, has the cloth seats in it. I'm going to leave that part in. Okay. So, this does have the cloth seats in it. The Smart Wheel has a horn, as you just heard. The thing that I like about the Smart Wheel is it's got your cruise control here, it's got your marker flashers here, it's got your Jake over here. All the controls that you're going to use all the time are right there. And now my phone's ringing. The thing that I like about the Smart Wheel is the controls that you're going to use all the time are all right here. You don't need to move your hands around. And the other thing that I like is with the cab here, I mean, you're not stretching, you're not reaching. It's just all right here. I've said that 1,000 times. I'm going to continue to say that. Speaking of which, normally the interior is the last part that I do, but I got a little something to say after this. This truck is outfitted with the VIT interior. It's got the button tuck up here. It's nice and quiet. It also looks really good. On top of that, you can see that there's a little more space here. This truck is the extended cab, and it's got the corner windows right there behind me. It's amazing how much visibility those give you and how much safety those give you. I mean, it's just a quick glance over your shoulder and you can see something that may have been hidden before. It's just a nice thing to have. On top of it, we've got all this extra space here for flotsam, jetsam, and other stuff that typically about a year into someone owning a truck, there's stuff in the bottom there that they probably don't know what it is, and we would need a scientist to figure out what it started its life as. But nonetheless, the interior of this truck, it's the 1.8 meter cab. You guys know I love it. We've got full gauges. We've got the nav system here. Just everything you need to function. I like it. The other thing is it's like almost 90 degrees out today. Air conditioning, top notch. It will freeze you out of these cabs. To me, this truck takes us, I don't want to say back to that normal, because there's a lot of great technology in this truck. But in the same sense, it's got that little bit older feel to it. All modern, but it gives us that maybe before look at things. I needed that this week. If you guys did, do me the favor, hit the thumbs up for me. As you know, I like to joke. If you didn't like this, thumbs down twice. Make sure you're subscribed. Hit the notifications bell so that way you know the next time we put out a video. As always, stay safe out there. Keep it rubber side down. I will catch you on the flip side. Kind of excited to drive this back to the lot, too. Woo! Woo!